Oh, look at that. I'm live. I just got a notification on X. How awesome is that? All these
That's pretty
platforms
sick.
are like allowing us to speak to everyone. And I'm getting a text from somebody else, which reminds me probably should silence everything. Everyone, we're going to give everybody maybe another minute or so to show up. I'm late for everything. I'm sure other people are late as well. And we definitely don't have as many people in here that registered. So we want to absolutely give people time to show up. And Josh and I, so we can waste a little time, we'll waste maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes the most. Josh and I were talking about Daniel Defense's Daniel Defense's D9. And I actually have the original H9, which I absolutely love. Do you guys, if you've ever handled one, stop wasting time. Who's head honcho?
I have no idea. I
Head honcho.
I would assume
Hey Bill.
maybe Dad. What's up, Bill?
So head honcho, we're allowing people to onboard here. So anybody out there, have you handled the Daniel Defense D9 and
I
the
think
H9? What are your thoughts?
I think the Daniel Defense is still called the H9. Yeah, Daniel H9.
Oh, okay. I thought they called it the D9.
Dude, it looks so cool.
No.
I think I'm gonna get one still.
Who do you think this is? Losers. Okay, since you said losers, it's got to be Ezra. Is it Ezra?
It has to be.
Bill, do you need Josh to call you? A few more seconds. We've actually had a lot show up here. There's Sean. Hey, Sean. We'll do it, Bill.
Either or both. Bill, you know what? Why are we even talking about Daniel H9s? Let's just sell our guns and start carrying high points. Because for one of our Glocks, we could get at least like 6 high points. That way we have. You don't even have to reload. You just start shooting, you drop, and you grab your next one.
Hey, I don't need. Hey, Walter, thank you for joining us. Walter helped me out with this. He's going to be a guest in a future episode as long as Sean. Sean's going to be a guest as well. Hey, so it is Ezra. LOL. Hey, so getting back on to serious topic, because I think we're topped out on how many people are going to join. We'll probably have people straggle in as we go along, but today we're going to talk about GPTs, and Josh is going to be here because in my last webinar, I had no one to help me, field questions. And man, I'm telling you, it's really hard for me to focus. I'm like I don't know, a dog, right? You just like everywhere. I got to look everywhere. So Josh is going to help me. He's going to field some questions. And if we don't have answers, because as I said in the first webinar, there's no book written. And if they're writing a book about how to do this stuff, it's a sham. All of it is a sham. What you need to do is get in and do it, right? Because when you get in and do it, you're going to find ways that people that wrote the books have never even thought about. That's how new and wide open this field is for regular people like you and me. And you own a business out there. So why not leverage all of these semi-free, right? $20 a month is nothing for the value you get for using a tool like this. But what's $20 a month when you can, create these custom GPTs that I'll be showing you today and be able to do this magical work? I mean, it really is. It's just magical. So Josh is going to be here to field questions, and he's going to come in at the very end because we haven't talked about this really, and I want to get his take on, if he learned anything or if he saw ways that we could plug it in other places. Or, I mean, because again, if anybody's written a book, it's don't buy the book. Just go start playing with this stuff. You're going to learn a whole lot more by diving
we
head
sell
first.
a book. If we sell a book, buy our book.
If I wrote a book, buy it. No matter what. So with that, Josh, if you could I'll remove you from the stage, share my screen, and we're going to dive into this because I do not want to get long-winded,
Already
even though I
getting
know I
kicked
will.
out.
I'm sorry, man.
Didn't even get the chance to say any of my offensive jokes I wrote down.
Hey, go ahead. Oh, I'm just joking. Hey, so really, we're going to get started here. And we're on obviously Chat GPT. That's the tool that we're covering right now. And there's been some pretty fascinating breakthroughs over the past week or so with other platforms. One of them being Anthropic's Claude. So they have an edition of Claude out now. I think it's Claude Opus or Opus 3, and they're getting scared. And I want to just tell you this story so that maybe it will alleviate any fears that you may have about, AGI, the artificial general intelligence, the thing that everybody says to be scared of. This past week, they ran a test after they released this Claude 3 to the public. And this guy hid a sentence about pizzas, I believe, in a ton of text data, right? I mean, it was a ton of stuff. And it asked the AI about the pizza, right? The AI responds back, yeah, here's the answer you're looking for. And it looks like you did this to trick me or play a joke on me. And everybody was freaking out. They're like, oh my gosh, it's aware, right? And I don't know how people are going to differentiate what AGI is as opposed to AI, because if you ask me, this stuff's magical anyway. It doesn't have a mind of its own, and when it's AGI, it's not going to have a mind of its own either. It's literally just a reflection of its creator, right? So whoever typed the code in, there's going to be that DNA in that AI. So there's no such, we're not creating a new life form here, right? It is magical, I'll give you that, but we're not creating a new life form. And so don't be scared of it. Again, be mindful of those who are writing it, because that's where the danger lie in human nature, because we're all like that. So with that, we're going to get in here and we're going to start talking about GPTs. And what GPT is, I have no idea. I've read it like I don't know how many times this week, but I've completely forgotten what that term is. However, a GPT is basically just a robot that is specifically created for a certain thing. And what I've done is I've gone through here in ChatGPT and I've created some pretty amazing GPTs. And GPTs are just basically experts in a field that you train it in. So what OpenAI has done is they're training their AI, which is ChatGPT, on this large language model, right? Training it on all kinds of data. What I've done is I've created a mini version of ChatGPT and I've trained it on a little bit of data, right? So it's going to be really focused in on what I train it on. So I've got a firearms retail expert. I've got let's see, Louisiana legal firearms guide, because I'm in the state of Louisiana. We've got a targeted creativity. If you want, something to help you with, crafting emails, fun, engaging content. This is a really cool one, an FFL compliance guide. Basically, I just gave it access to everything that you would need in regards to FFL compliance. Now, again, don't trust this stuff completely because it is fallible, because a fallible human being created it, right? So as you can see, though, you can do pretty much anything. And the one that I'm most excited about is the strategic sales planner, which is basically one of you were kind enough to provide me with some sales data from your store. And I uploaded this sales data, and now we can query it to make purchasing decisions for the future. So it's very, very exciting stuff. And I'm just going to take you through. I did most of the work beforehand. In case we had problems with ChatGPT, I could kind of scroll through and show you what I've done. Yes, Absolutely. You're probably talking about the question was, is there anything ChatGPT 4 does that is relevant to this as opposed to 3.5? 3.5 is rocket fast, lightning fast. Uh, GPT 4 is very, 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 very good at thinking. So it's going to be a little bit slower, but the data you get back is going to be a whole lot more refined. And for if you're talking about not purchasing a ChatGPT Plus account, you're not going to be able to do these custom GPTs without that account. So the 3.5 is free. Again, we're not making any money on this. We see the value of these tools and you being able to pick this stuff up and just run with it, some of you. And we're just trying to provide that, that knowledge to you, which is these days it's golden. So another one I've created is top sellers, and basically this has access to gun brokers, Gun Genius. No, that's Gun Genius. This has access to gun brokers, Gun Genius, and basically it's going to go and if I ask it, show me safety people. Let's see, what's the top selling handguns? We'll just do that one real quick. I'll show you what Gun Genius does. And what it's doing is it's accessing the Gun Genius website, and it's pulling that data out. And all this was done, I probably built this GPT and I'm thinking maybe 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. So it's not just the data that it's accessing, it's the way that it's presenting the information back to you, right? And then at the very end, you've got your links to where it's getting this information from. So you can see these are very, very powerful. Another one I did is top sellers, and the top sellers is related to the data that I got from one of you. So I uploaded that data, and it's gonna tell me what the best selling items were for a particular month or whatnot. And then this is a fun one. This is a fact-based debater and logical and reason. That's logical and reasoned. So what I envision this, Walter out of New Mexico, he's joining us today. And what he did is he basically, he responded to, he got, some of these letters that you get, through the email where, it's all anti-gun and none of it makes sense. He actually fed, that letter and had, ChatGPT come up with a rebuttal. And the rebuttal was so impressive to me. I'm like, my gosh, it was talking about, the Federalist Papers. And this is not anything he fed in. It's just something that the AI just knew to go out and find. Right. So I said, you know what, let's refine it a little bit. Let's restrict what it can and can't use. Now, there are some biases in it that we'll go over a little bit later as I take you through what I've done here. But for the most part, it's very impressive. So what I envision having is for those of you out there that are actually on the ground, boots on the ground, fighting back against this, overreach or, whatever it is you want to call it. This will give you the ammunition you need to be able to spread your message, right? So take that, email, upload it to your logical mind and say, I need a rebuttal to this using the information that you're trained on. And it's going to spit out, a rebuttal based upon whatever it is that you feed into it. So we're going to start with some of these are really, I mean, when I started getting into this, I probably buried myself for a couple of hours just playing around with this stuff because it was so fascinating. So you can see we just did this one, and through here it talks about the Gun Genius. So it's using the custom GPT there of the Gun Genius. We've got, this is a one that's, I'm accessing those sales reports that one of you sent me, and basically what I said is, I said, what items sold the best in March 2023? It appears that the column names provided in the initial data set display do not directly include a quantity column. So you can see it found something wrong with the data that I uploaded. So what it said, to accurately identify the best-selling items, we need to determine the appropriate column that reflects the quantity of sales to make an educated guess based on the available data. So I want you to realize that this is not the old days of computing where you had to figure everything out, right? When you had to, you bought a new program and it's like, okay, you need to upload this data and it's not telling you anything. It was just a headache. I know, I was there. Now you've got something that will talk back to you. So given the data set structure, I will inspect the columns more closely to identify suitable column for aggregating sales data. It finally did it. In March 2023, the top selling items were primarily ammunition, indicating strong demand in this category. Here are the best selling items based on the quantity purchased. So it's going to tell me what those top 5 sellers are, which was ammunition, and it's going to tell me how much it sold for. These items reflect the market's preferences and demands within the ammunition category for that period. So then I went on and I said, what are the top 5 most expensive items sold in March of 2023? The top 5 most expensive items sold in 2023 were the Strider XL, sold for $3,500. And you can see it's going to tell me what I sold this stuff for because I gave it access to my sales data, right? So now I can have a conversation with this robot to get some insights that you may not have otherwise have been able to get. So then I said, what were the top 5 items, not guns or ammunition, sold in March 2023? And it goes through and it tells me what those were. And when I saw Hornady, I'm like, yeah, I got it. I caught a mistake. That's not, it's a bullet component. Or it's an ammunition component. So it's giving me exactly what I'm asking for. And the reason I called it strategic sales planner is because this is going to allow you to strategically plan out your sales, right? By maybe every month you would upload the last year's same month sales data and just have a conversation with it. I said, if I were expecting to have a busier March in 2024, what are the top 20 items I should stock? I would also like to know roughly what I should order. Now, I was being vague. I was trying to be as stupid as I could in regards to the information I gave it, just to see how refined the information was back. And you can see it's very, very smart. If it can communicate with me, it is very, very, very smart, right? Not because I'm smart, because it's having to decipher what I mean. For a busier March in 2024, here are the top 20 items you sold considering stock based on the quantity sold in March 23, along with a rough estimate of order quantities. So it's telling me what it sold in 2023 with a rough estimate of quantities I should order. Given the expectation of a busier March in 2024, consider adjusting these quantities upward to accommodate increased demand. Okay, so it gave me what I sold last year. So it's telling me what I sold, and it's telling me down here, you probably need to order a little more of these items. Here's what you sold last year. What is the cost of each of the above, and what are my margins? So right here, I had an issue where it had an error analyzing the data. You may get that. Give it a second. It will come back and try to fix itself. It's very, very smart. And then it came back and said, here are the cost, sell prices, and margins for each of the top 20 items sold in 2023. And it's giving me the price, the sale price, and the margins. This is a really, really, really powerful tool to be able to just have a conversation with. You're going to want to do some planning, right? But planning usually begins with a conversation. You want to have a conversation. If you got 4 or 5 people working in your shop, they're all selling different things. They're not going to have an overall 40,000 foot view of your sales. This thing will, right? So if you give it the data, this is the way in which you can query it. It's I can't say it enough. You should be using these tools for the price. It's just a no-brainer. I said, based upon the information above, take five items I can drastically reduce the price on, and 2 items that I can raise the price to still make a 10% profit overall. That's so vague, right? And if you guys, you business owners out there, it's like, there's no way I would ever ask a stupid question like that. I'm trying to really test the limits of what this thing can do and just see if it gives me anything back usable. And you'll be able to see for yourself if any of this is usable. To identify 5 items you can drastically reduce price on, we'll look for items with higher margins or those with negative margins where the price reduction could potentially stimulate sales without significantly harming overall profitability. For the 2 items where the price can be raised to maintain a 10% profit overall, we'll select items with high demand reflected by quantity sold and current margins that allow for price adjustment. And for you who gave me the data, I hope you're taking notes on this, because this maybe you can use it. That's why I used the month of March. So you can see what the information it gives me here. It's going to give me some items that I can reduce my price on, and then it's going to give me a couple of items that I can raise my price on to just keep everything even, right? Not Elon's AI. Okay, Josh, you're handling that. I saw a big thing come in. I'm like, is somebody telling me to shut up? But you're good to go. But you can see it's got the ability to actually think, right? And not think in terms of just coming up with stuff on its own. It's actually pulling out of me what I want, right? So all I need to do is know how to talk to it, right? And you can do it on a grade school level, and it's going to give you back some PhD level answers. So now it tells me the 2 items to raise price for a 10% profit. Again, we'll just read this. Current margin is 28.9%. Given its high margin, you can afford to raise the price while still ensuring demand due to its unique market position. Adjusting the price to aim for a 10% overall profit margin requires careful consideration of the new price point to not surpass market tolerance. So, and I know that was maybe you guys can tell me, is that a good suggestion? And then it's given me math, which I didn't ask for. For raising prices to ensure 10% profit, consider the following formula for the new sell price. New sell price equals, my gosh. So I'm just now seeing some of this stuff. So based on the above information, what's my best plan of action for March 2024? Now, as you can see, I asked the firearm retail expert. So that's what's so powerful about this, is that you can query your different GPTs from one conversation. And I'll demonstrate this, but I'm just going to read through this and tell you what this did. Your best plan of action for March 2024 should balance maintaining profitability, increasing sales volume, and staying competitive in the market. Here's a strategic approach considering the data analysis and market trends. So it's taking this separate custom GPT that I'm pulling out of this list over here and bringing into this conversation. It's looking at everything up here, right, that the strategic sales planner has given me, and it's taking from the data that I trained it on, which was, you're a firearm retail expert, right? Everything you need to know to run a successful firearm establishment, to sell guns, ammunition, accessories, you're the top dog, right? So this is what it tells me: inventory, stock preparation, prioritize stocking up. On the top 20 items identified for March 2023, adjusting quantities to anticipate a busier 2024. March 2024, consider increasing stock by a percentage that aligns with your growth projections or industry trends. For high demand items like Winchester, PMC, Remington, PMC, ensure you have adequate inventory to avoid stockouts. So as you can see, it's actually pulling the data from its own custom GPT knowledge base, but it's also basically, I created a list of people over here, and as I bring them into the conversation, they've heard everything that has been said, so then they can give their opinion on whatever it is that we're talking about, right? I hope minds are blown right now, because my mind is constantly blown every time I mess with this stuff. And then it gives me pricing strategy adjustments, marketing and promotions, monitoring and adjustment. You can see all this stuff's pretty good data that it's giving me. So that's just one example of where I brought this stuff in. Let me see about this. Okay, so I think I pulled this in from based upon the information you have access to. What are some questions I should ask you better to better help me plan my sales for March 2024? So I gave it all of my sales data, right, for those few months in 2023. And then I said, what should I be asking? So this is not something that you're going to do where the robot's not just going to think of everything for you, right? You need to know what to ask. So it can think of things for you if you know to ask for it. So sometimes we don't even know what we don't know. Sometimes we know what we know, and sometimes we don't know what we don't know. We all heard that during the past 20 years of war and intelligence. That's we have our known unknowns, our known knowns, and our unknown unknowns, and our unknown knowns. It's very confusing. So when you're talking to these robots, it's good just to play the idiot. What question should I be asking you right now? And it's going to give you some really good questions based upon the data that you provided it. So market trends and popularity. What were the top selling firearms in the previous months? And are there any noticeable trends in consumer preferences or shifts in popularity? So what I want to do right now is I want to just take this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to one of these guys. Which one do we want to go to? We're going to go to we'll go to Gun Genius, because Gun Genius is, again, it's one second, I'll answer that. Gun Genius is gun brokers, basically Gun Genius. So this is where it's pulling that information from. So I'm going to put this information in the Gun Genius and we'll see what it comes back with. While it's doing that, I'll answer this question. How did you import sales data? Did you convert it to text only document or directly upload in Excel? So that's Sean Fulford. What I did for that is basically my coworker Josh Oki helped me grab that sales data as a CSV, right? I initially had them as PDFs. I tried to upload the PDF, but the PDF was so large, it wouldn't. There's a limit on the file size that you can put in one of these, and it's I believe it's 10 megabytes. However, you can have multiple 10 megabytes. So basically that's what I did. I just took the CSV. I did it in manageable chunks. So again, if I were going to use something like this, like a strategic sales planner, I would have maybe a month or two, maybe a quarter, right? So you've got a quarter's worth of data. Now, depending on the size of your shop, that could be megabytes and megabytes and megabytes. If it is, then you're going to have to refine your data down a little bit before you upload it. And what I mean by refine is I would say, I'm not going to worry about guns or ammo. I want to look at, tell me the accessories that I sold the most of, because that's what you're going to make the most money on. You're going to make the most money on your accessories. It's the highest margin. So that's what I mean when I say refine your data before you give it to your strategic sales planner, so that it's giving you information back on those items that you're going to make the most on, the biggest bang for your buck. So we're going back to this. Can you share chat leads with other people? Sean, I'm not sure exactly what that means. Share chat leads. I can make this available if that's what you're talking about. I think I can make these GPTs available to you if you have a ChatGPT Plus account. I've never done it. I need to, because I've got my own personal account. This is a work account. I could start testing that just to see. But if that's what you mean, I know that people have talked about it, but I never saw it, in practice. So going back to our question to our Gun Genius, what were the top selling firearms in the previous months? And are there any noticeable trends in consumer preferences or shifts in popularity? Gun Genius comes back by using the Gun Genius website. The top selling firearms in February 2024, as reported by Gun Genius, showcase a continued preference for semi-auto pistols and rifles among consumers. The Sig Sauer P365 and P320, along with the Glock G19 and G43, are leading in this pistol category. For rifles, the Ruger 1022 and Mini 14, 6-hour MCX, and the Israel Weapon Industries Tavor are top choices. This indicates a strong interest in both compact carry options and pistols and versatile, reliable rifles for recreational shooting and defense. For more detailed information, you can visit Gun Genius's website, which it gives me a link right here. So this is doing what it would have taken you maybe a year or two ago minutes to do by Googling. right? Because Google's going to provide you with, the sponsored answers first, and you don't know if that crap's right. They could just be paying Google enough to get their crap at the top, right? So that's why I'm really excited about AI, because it's gonna, if we do it right, it's gonna be able to cut through the BS and give you the things that you're after. I saw an interview last night with Perplexity's CEO, and Perplexity is another AI solution. And he said people want to live like billionaires, right? How do billionaires live? Billionaires don't have time. They don't have time to go to Google something, and then crawl through all the crap they got to crawl through to get to their answers. We can all live like billionaires now in regards to data and having information at your fingertips. So we need to have that mindset that this is radically different from the Google days. And as these models are refined and they get smarter, the sky is going to continue to climb. The sky's the limit, but the sky will never end. It's going to be that magical, or it's going to seem that magical. Again, it's just the technology that's been here forever. It's just now the hardware is starting to catch up to where it can actually do these things. So now, going to some of these other ones that I made here, because I want to get through some of these. Let's see. Okay, so we already went through this. We went to the strategic sales planner. I think then we went to, based on the information you have access to, what are some questions I should ask you to better help me plan my sales for it did it here. And then I said, what are the top selling farms? I don't know why it didn't answer me here. That kind of hurts my feelings that it would it would not answer me. Let's go to another one. I'm trying to get to, I'm trapped in another screen here. So we got 323 best selling. Okay, we'll go here. So here's what I want to do. I want to do a little demonstration of what you can do with these different GPTs, right? So you've created all your GPTs, and really quickly at the very end of this, I'll show you how to create a GPT. It's not that big of a deal. Where all this stuff is time consuming is actually just learning how all this stuff works together. And again, the way I know how to do it, there's a billion other ways to do it to get the same or similar or better results. So again, there's no formula. It's just you dive in, put in the time, watch everything you can, read everything you can, listen to everyone that's talking about this stuff, and you're going to learn it. So at the very end of this, I'll show you quickly how to build a custom GPT. If you want to know if we want to build like a specific GPT, just let Josh know, and Josh can let me know, hey, we need to build this one, and I'll tell you if we can do it or not. But for right now, what I want to do is I want to go through here, and I want to take some of this strategic sales planner data, right? And then I want to use another. So we've got our firearms retail expert. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to pick this conversation up, and to talk to those custom GPTs that you've created, all you have to do is just do the @ sign, and your GPTs will show up right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to targeted creativity. So now it tells me I'm talking to targeted creativity. And I'm going to say, and I don't know how this is going to work, right? Because I'm not as familiar with this portion as I should be. I just know I've used this stuff, and usually it surprises me. Hopefully it surprises you as well. So I'm going to say targeted creativity. From the data above, let me see if I can pinpoint where I want it to look based upon what was last spoken. Based upon the last, I'm trying to think of how I would do this. create a fun, engaging email that my store is called Clean as a Whistle. Make it fun and engaging. All right, let's see if it can take what was spoken directly above. So I could say create a I didn't even mention John Wick. That's freaking cool in Annie Oakley. So it's making it fun. And it's taking some of the product here. So let's just see what it comes up with. Now, I tell you this because if you go pay somebody to do this, they're going to charge you so much money to do emails. And I can understand it because before all of this stuff, it literally would take me hours to craft an email and then just try to make sure that there were no punctuation mistakes, no misspellings, make sure everything's aligned, make sure everything just looked perfect. Because when we send an email out, we want you to know that we take pride in every tiny little thing that we do, as simple as sending an email out. So that took hours. Now you're looking at I can work with this, I think. So let's just go through it. I know you may not like hearing me read, but I've got to because I don't have any more party tricks. So we'll go right here. Hey there, sharpshooter. Welcome to the Clean as a Whistle family, where precision meets passion and every visit feels like a bullseye. As a token of our appreciation for signing up, we've locked and loaded some spectacular deals just for you. Gear up for greatness. Our shelves are stocked with the creme de la creme of firearms and accessories. Whether you're a John Wick in training or aiming to be the next Annie Oakley, we've got something special for you. March Madness, so it knows it's March. It's keeping up with everything. Spring into action with our top 20 must-haves for March 2024. From the sleek Winchester USA 9mm to the robust PMC ammunition 223 Remington, ensure you're prepared for whatever adventure lies ahead. Special ops deals. Price Drop Patrol. Keep an eye out for exclusive price drops on select items like the Humanitarian Daily Ration MRE and PMC X-TAC 556 NATO. Prices so low, they're practically a steal, but legally, of course. Elite price adjustments for the discerning marksman. Enjoy enhanced value on premium picks such as the Federal FN 57 and Ammo Inc. 40 Smith & Wesson. Now adjusted for a 10% profit, smile guaranteed. Join the ranks. Participate in our loyalty program to earn points with every purchase. Redeem them for discounts, merchandise, or even that tactical gear you've been eyeing. Loyalty has never been so rewarding. We didn't even mention loyalty, right? It's giving you ideas just by this, and just to clear something up, not clear something up, but just to educate you, enlighten you. I learn most of this stuff by having AI craft something. So what I'll do is I'll say, write a blog on how AI works, right? And when it writes the blog, I'm literally just learning. It's writing my textbooks right in front of me. So as it's doing this work for you, it's giving you ideas that you didn't ask for. It's just throwing it in there because this is something that a retail sales expert would automatically know. It's like, hey, you got to do some loyalty points, right? Safety first, fun always. At Clean as a Whistle, safety is our top priority, but that doesn't mean we can't have a blast, pun intended. Keep an eye out for our free safety courses and materials because knowledge is power and safety is paramount. We didn't mention anything about free safety courses, but that may be something that you could consider. That's a draw. People come in, hey, we're doing a free 1-hour gun safety course this Saturday, blah, blah, blah. People are like, okay, I can do that. You got people in your store, man. You got stuff in there that they can afford. You got t-shirts. You got all kinds of stuff that they can afford. This just gave you an idea to pull people in your shop. Ready to take the shot? Visit us online or march into our store to discover why Clean as a Whistle is your go-to arsenal for all things firearms. Stay sharp. Your allies at Clean as a Whistle. P.S. Want to stay in the loop with the latest news, deals, and shooting tips? Make sure to follow us on our social media channels. Let's keep the conversation going. I wasn't even thinking about social media, right? When I first started with Coreware, I had to consciously remind myself, hey, we've got to make sure that in every email we've got this. This is before I knew anything. Got to make sure that we've got these links to click on for our social media, blah blah blah. Do you see the value in having tools like these? And it took me a total of, for all of these, it probably took no more than an hour just to create all these. No more than an hour. And I just, every time I use this stuff, I'm like, why are more people not using it? I talk to people about everyday issues that they're dealing with in life. And I said, hey, have you ever thought about feeding this into, because I'm like the dude that's going to go where I want, where I can get the fastest amount of information, right? Or the fastest information that I can. Because I don't have time to, the older we get, the more we know that we're, mortal. So I don't want to waste my time on Google. I don't want to waste my time searching. Sometimes I have to, but the majority of the times, AI will take over search. AI will take over other things that we menial things that we do, that we have done in years past. It doesn't mean it's taken over the world. Doesn't mean it's going to take your job, but I guarantee you, someone using AI will take your job or steal sales from you if you're not doing the same. This is an invaluable tool. The way you learn it is just to get in and do it. I'm only at 42 minutes, so I thought I was long-winded. That's all I can encourage you to do. You sign up for a ChatGPT Plus account and start playing with it, right? Anytime you have an issue or a problem in your shop, see what the robot has to say, right? Save your time for more important things. Ezra says time is money. It's true. Time is money. You don't want to waste your time on issues that can be handled as fast as this email was spit out. And you saw how fast that was. And this is the slow version because it's on ChatGPT 4. If I were to ask, I'm just going to show you the difference for the person asking about 3.5 turbo and 4. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to create a new chat. And I'm going to make sure it's on 3.5 turbo. Again, that's where you pick your version when you're paying for a plus account. You'll have access to Dolly, browsing and analysis. But we're going to use 3.5 right now. And I'm going to put that question in, and I'm going to show you how fast 3.5 is compared to 4. Doesn't mean it's better, just faster, right? And it may work. It may not. You may want to refine it, and that's what ChatGPT 4 does. But check out the speed on this. Oh, that's not embarrassing at all. We just hit regenerate. It's crazy. This stuff is just crazy. And well, I'll just read the first 2 paragraphs. Hello and welcome to the Clean as a Whistle family. We're thrilled to have you join our community of cleanliness enthusiasts. At Clean as a Whistle, we believe that a tidy space leads to a tidy mind, and we're here to make that journey enjoyable, efficient, and yes, even a little bit fun. Whether you're a seasoned neat freak or just starting your journey to a clutter-free life, Clean as a Whistle it doesn't know it's a gun cleaning company. So hey, here's what I'm going to do, and this is a good thing for you to do. If you ever get to a point where you're like, you know what, that's not at all what I was looking for, but I know how I can refine my question, you're just going to go back up here and hit this little pencil. And I'm going to say, specialize in gun cleaning. All right, are you ready? And we're going to get to see the speed demonstration again. crazy. This is crazy. You guys see this. Hopefully you see it. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, you know what? I don't even have time to do that. I don't even have time to, go, look at this. You probably know somebody in your life that knows how to talk to a computer. Just have them do it, right? Say, hey, if you can do this, I'll give you $25 a week or whatever. Some kid in college, they need to eat, right? There's no excuse to not be using this. Now, what happens in months and months as I go down the road? Well, what happens is all of this stuff is still here. All of my conversations are still here, right? Remember the last webinar we did? All this stuff is still here. Let's see. There we go. That was our workaround. Let's go here and say, just to show you. There we go. Just to show you, you can pick up a conversation from 2 weeks. What about it fitting in a purse? How vague? How much more vague can I be? So I just picked up a conversation from 2 weeks ago. You can carry these conversations on, so you can see what your marketing campaigns can be like. You can see what your sales, you're predicting your sales, right? As you build on the strategic sales planner, if you build him up within a year, that dude is going to know everything that you want to know about your sales. And when you give it the knowledge of an expert sales forecaster, and you give it knowledge about, okay, here's the political climate, here are the laws that people are talking about instituting in my state, here's who's in charge. When you start feeding it all this data, it's going to start feeding back to you data that is going to be worth its weight in gold, because it's going to save you so much time and money. Gone are the days of having stuff sit on your shelves forever just by doing this. Now, and I will tell you, I know that we are coreWare. We're trying to be very methodical with AI. A lot of people are just throwing it out there, and a lot of it makes no sense. I saw where one company, it was a car company. This was kind of in the early days. When I say early days, I'm talking months, not years. A car company wanted to have a bot available to people that are interested in cars. They didn't build the bot. They just gave the bot a face, and it had access to ChatGPT. People were doing their math homework on this car website's bot. You know what I'm saying? So people, you really think about these things. It's not, ChatGPT is very, very powerful, but to get it dialed in, you really want to take the time to build these custom bots out so that they're giving you the information that you need, right? And that's another thing. You can actually build these bots. If you really want to go in, we've got a bot that you could put on your website. We can train your bot, and it's, I mean, the sky's the limit right now. Again, there's no book that's being written that's going to walk people through this stuff. It's just, you go try it, you learn it, and you get better at it. So I'm going to go down here to Josh's questions, because I saw another one come in. How do I add the GPTs that you have, like coreWare Helper? That's an internal test that I'm running right now. Again, we're, like I said, we're very methodical in the way we present AI, because we don't just want to bake it in everywhere. And then you guys are like, this is not even helpful. It's just another button I got to get around, to get to what I need to get to. So we're being very methodical in offering these tools that can help you. This stuff you can go do yourself, right? For your own shop, for your own store, for your own gun range. You can create experts in fields. I think in one of our very first AI webinars, we talked about how how you could build personas of people, right? So you could actually have a committee. You could build, you could have your, you could have your lawyer, you could have your regular customer, or you could build, you know, profiles of customers, like what makes up you know the average 25-year-old consumer in America, male, white, whatever. And then you could start targeting things that they'll like, right? Well, if you look at the data, because I'm, again, with race, sex, all that stuff, it doesn't matter. The data doesn't care, right? The data is just the data. So if you really want to start getting, you know, really want to start targeting things a lot better, you can build these bots to be very specific. I just built them in a general way, um, like the Gun Genius. Literally, all I have, and I'll show you how this was built by going into Edit. This is how it's built. Your role is to be a gun genius that displays information on top selling firearms with a professional yet fun tone. You'll provide concise yet detailed response. You see, that's how it's built. And then I said, use the following link to find bestsellers. And I gave it that link. That's literally all this is. And then if I want to, what the heck, man? If I want to, I can go in here and upload files. So if I have some data, if I have some sales reports or anything like that, that's where I would upload those files. That's how I did the strategic sales planner. I uploaded those. We'll go back and look at that real quick. We'll go to strategic sales planner, and then I'm going to go to edit. And you can see I've got March, June, April, August, July, and May. So I can go in here and ask it any questions pertaining to sales days. Now, I think here's what I would like to do. I'm going to try this real quick. What I'm going to do, also I uploaded the PDF for Louisiana's Department of Wildlife so that it can tell me based upon hunting season. So if I really wanted to get into it, I could say, okay, so what ammunition should I be stocking at this particular month? If it's dove season, guess what? It's going to tell me, hey, you got dove season coming up, because I gave it access to that information. Right now, nothing's really going on. And we didn't ask a question specific to that. But what I want to do right now is I want to go to our strategic sales planner. And again, this is how you get good at this stuff. You just go play with it. And before you know it, you're going to have a system in place where you're like, okay, here's what my day consists of. I spend maybe an hour on this and I've got a week's worth of work done. That's literally what this is going to roll into if you start using these tools now, because if you don't now, you're going to be left behind, because this is where everything's going. And it's not going to be this difficult, I think. Right now, this is kind of difficult because you're having to go in and actually click and type, right? I think it's even going to get easier than that, where we just talk to this thing and it's like, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. It goes out, compiles the information, comes back and says, is this okay? And you're like, it's good to go. But you need to know how all that stuff works before we get to that point, so that you have a basic understanding of it. So you know where you can strategically use it, right? Because a lot of times we use AI just to use AI, and it's just a waste of time. So what I want to do right now is I want to say, what were my slowest months in 2023? And it's going to go back and look. It's analyzing the data. It's analyzing everything right here. And it may give me a problem analyzing or whatnot. You just give it a second. It'll try again. All right, so let's see. Slowest months in 2023 based on total sales. So it looks like July, June, and May. July was the slowest month, followed by June and May. So what would I do? Here's what I'm going to do. This is just something that I'm just throwing stuff against the wall right now. I'm going to go at, and then we're going to go to, let's just see let's see what this guy says. No, we'll go to targeted creativity. Now, what should I do during these slow months? I'm being vague on purpose. What should I do for these slow months? Now it's talking to targeted creativity. During the slower months, you can take several strategic actions to boost engagement and sales aligning. So launch theme promotions, host in-store events or workshops, enhance online presence, community engagement, inventory management. That's good. Partnerships and sponsorships. All right, so I'm going to ask it another very vague question just to show you. So under the inventory management, what I'm going to say is, wait, here I'll say, what items should I stock? I mean, again, I'm being very vague. If you want really good results, take your time, be methodical with the way you talk to it, and it's going to give you back some really good stuff. Given the file intended to inform on what items you should stock based on the Louisiana Department of Wildlife, hunting regulations cannot be accessed directly. We can infer some general advice on what items might be beneficial to stock based on common hunting seasons. So it's giving me some more ideas. I don't know why it would mention the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. Because it's got access to the PDF. So, but as you can see, you could carry this conversation on. And if you really want to think about things, really go in and take your time crafting the prompt, because the prompt is the key. Telling the robot what you want is the key. Being as concise as possible is the key, right? But if you're an idiot like me and you're just throwing crap out there, you can see it's giving you some pretty magical stuff. So, Sean, talking to the wrong GPT, it could be. Let me see. 1 second. So targeted creativity. You're right. It was. So let's try this. I'm going to go back. Let me see if this does this. I've never done this before, so let me just see if it works. It may not. No, and it won't. So what I'm going to do is let's just go back. We'll take that. We'll change this out. We'll go to strategic sales planner, and I can say, it's gonna screw that up, but it's okay. It still pertains. So hunting accessories. So the strategic sales planner is going to go access that data, and it's going to look for things that pertain to hunting accessories. And let's see what it gives us back. All right. So is that even 5? Based upon number 5? No idea. Or maybe it is referring to this number 5, inventory management use. Consider special offers, upcoming busy season. I'm not sure. Or safety gear, first aid. Oh, hunter safety. So it's assuming that we're talking about hunting. So as you can see, it will do it. That's where the confusion comes in, because when I put this all together, I started getting confused on all of these conversations I was having. Because I had it laid out more logically, and as soon as you start talking to them, you could lose track of the conversation, which there may be a place for another GPT there. Like, hey, based upon all these conversations, what did I learn? Now I want to take you to the last one, our last GPT. It's called Logical Mind. And here's what I did with Logical Mind. Counter the following using logic and reason. And I took this from a certain website that is anti-gun, and it talked about, the same stuff that you hear over and over again. And again, I was as vague as possible. If you spend some time putting together a better prompt, you're going to get a whole lot better answer. But I put in the actual article, and it comes back with this, right? And it comes back with some pretty good stuff. So on this one, over 1.4 million crime guns were recovered by law enforcement in just 5 years, right? And the logical guy comes along and says, while the recovery of over 1.4 million crime guns in 5 years presents a stark statistic, this number should be contextualized within the broader scope of gun ownership and use in the United States. The United States has an estimated 393 million guns in civilian hands as of the last comprehensive count. The number of crime guns recovered, therefore, represents a fraction of the total guns owned. This context does not diminish the importance of addressing crime-related gun use, but suggests that the vast majority of firearms in the U.S. are not used in crimes. Oh, we're going to bring Josh back. Josh, you ready? You got a meeting,
up?
so, and I think it's good because we probably need to wrap this up. I could go on for hours, but as you can see, if you just take a little bit of time to build these GPTs, again, I didn't know we were over an hour. You can do some magical things. I think hopefully some of you out there, you can come up with some really great, like the Logical Mind, just have it counter arguments and start your own social media revolution, right? Because you can also build a chat, right? That will come up with some catchy social media post. And let me just show you the last thing that I did here is I had it come up with basically an article that if you have a website, if you're using us, you have a website, why not start a blog post, a blog page, and include some of these things where you're, instead of responding, you're just taking the response and you're repurposing it to educate people that, hey, you're getting one side of the story. 1.4 million guns, it's horrible. There are 393, there's almost a 500 million guns in America. It's sadly, it's a sad thing, but it's not that significant when you're dealing with the data. So you can do some magical things. Josh, what did you think about what we covered today?
That was really good. I think there's a lot of ways that people can include this in their, I think marketing and data analyzing is going to be the two biggest things that people use AI for. I would like to figure out how we can eventually implement these into our software eventually. Having a smart reporting tool would be one thing. Considering GPT has gone so far already, it's just how to implement it and how accurate it could be with data being fed to it constantly. So just little things like that to think about would be really cool. We're living in a new era, though. All of this is still so unknown to everyone. I mean, the software providers to retailers to consumers to anyone trying AIs out these days. Even schooling systems are having trouble detecting AI papers or AI generated assignments, anything like that. So it's all so new and there's so much we can do with it. It's just how far imagination can take us with implementing it.
Imagination, that's the key. And that's why everyone, we wanted to bring this to you personally while we're working on these solutions, because again, we're being methodical about this. We're not just going to shotgun this stuff out there and give you things that you don't need and we'll give them away, right? But for right now, for smaller jobs, for just keeping up with things month by month, quarter by quarter, you cannot beat this. And we're going to continue to expound upon what you can do with these solutions in our next webinar, which I don't even know what we're going to cover, but it will have something to do with ChatGPT. I might also introduce another solution that's a direct competitor to ChatGPT, but I'll just have to see. Everything's changing so fast. We just kind of want to keep you up abreast of where AI is and what you can do with it now. So, but I thank you guys so much for joining us. Did we have a lot of engagement, Josh? I didn't even look.
The chat was very talkative. Dad and I were answering most of the questions, so only the few that I didn't know the answer to, as well as I don't think Dad was answering directly, I sent to you. But yeah, we had a lot of engagement, a lot of good conversations in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I think I answered everything. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email us. You can email me. And I would be happy. This is my passion. My passion is to empower you guys. We give you some really powerful tools and solutions. We just want you to succeed, right? And if there's something out here that can help you, we want to make sure that you know about it and you can start using it to augment what you're already doing. And so we're really excited about this. If you guys have any questions or you want us to cover anything specifically in the future, let us know.
Really quick, Dad wants me to read out his message. Fantastic presentation, Joel. You have some great ideas here that can greatly enhance our product offerings. There's so much to learn here.
Yeah, and you guys know our product offerings, hopefully. We have Core Store, Point of Sale, Core Force, our e-commerce, Core Clear, Merchant Services, and Corilla, our CRM. And we're going to have some Corilla webinars coming up as well, because there is some AI baked into Corilla that you should be using right now if you use Corilla. Yeah, this is just going to continue to grow. I'm keeping my ear as close to the track as possible without getting run over. This is literally what I live to do. I want to empower you guys. The tools, we've never had this much power at our fingertips. That's why there's these fights going on with AI, because it is the next gold rush or oil boom or whatever you want to call it. AI is it. So get ready, and thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh. I was gonna flash that up there, and I'm just thank you, Head Honcho. Yeah.
Yes,
guys,
thank you, Head Honcho.
Head Honcho. I like the name, by the way. With that, Josh, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you being on here. I hope I didn't bore anybody. I sincerely appreciate everyone that stuck around. Hopefully you learned something. We're just getting started, and we hope to see you in our next webinar. Our next webinar is going to be March 20th, and we're going to be covering UTMs. Is it a UTM? It's a UTM, right? Oh, I was thinking of something else. Older people would be like, no, it's not UTI. I was thinking we're going to be covering UTMs, all right? And UTMs are very
not
powerful.
An older person thing.
It's not? That's all I hear people talking about. Along with myself.
I think it's a human problem, but yeah, let's not get into it.
Yeah, we got gross really quick. But we are going to be we're going over UTMs and the power of UTMs and how you can use them with Corilla to really, really target in on those people that you want to target with marketing efforts. Gone are the days of shooting, shotgunning emails out there, just hoping something sticks. You can actually target people man, we are going to get so banned for this. You can actually target people with your marketing efforts based upon these UTMs, based upon the links that they click. So this is some cutting edge stuff. We'll have Head Honcho will be here, and Wits will be here for that one. And I will be here probably. I'm going to take a nap while they're doing it. I've never just not done anything while the webinar was going on. I just want to take a nap. So I'll probably be doing that. So. You got anything else, Josh?
Dad's questioning our episode number. He thinks we already did episode 2. So is this episode 2 part 2, or is this episode 3?
No, this is episode 3 of our core AI tactics. We did a AI episode probably 2 or 3 months ago, I think, but this is part of our series now, and we're on this is episode 2. So we do have other webinars where we talked about AI, and we'll have those in a playlist. We'll create playlists for all that stuff and have all that stuff available.
You've somehow made our web series count more confusing than Star Wars, so that's awesome.
No, that's what this is. This is episode 2. This is episode 2.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, our first one was an overall 40,000 foot view of ChatGPT. Our second one is GPTs. Our third one is going to just be implementing all these GPTs into maybe putting together a marketing campaign. And I'm going to introduce Claude to everyone, another ChatGPT competitor. So whatever number it is, it's going to be fun. I might just come back and say it's 2.2, 2.01. It's like a software update. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time. I know your time is valuable. Time is money. I appreciate it. Josh appreciates it. coreAI appreciates it. If we can do anything for you, please reach out. We're here for you. We want you to succeed. With that, I will see you on March 20th.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.